there are new emulator box devices hitting the market all the time. I've done a few of these on my channel. I was curious, and this is a newer one, and this is a Super Console X5 Pro, and it comes with this controller, Bluetooth, and you know what? A lot of people are into these, and I thought I'd just share it on my channel. You do you. I'm not here to talk about the legalities of this. This is just an emulator box for people that want to see what these things do. I just was curious myself. Anyways, here it is. More info below if you want to find more information about this device. I'm not here to promote it. I'm just sharing what this does. So here it is, the unboxing of the actual device. And it's also a media device, Android 12.0. This is just kind of a first look overview, and want to share kind of what you're getting with this. This is available on Amazon as well. Anyways, you can search for it. Back to the device, you Type-C HDMI 2.1 audio. You can have a wired connection. Anyways, here are the USB 3.0 ports and micro SD card slot. Comes with a remote if you want to use it as a media hub. All sorts of options here. I'm going to show you. The instruction manual is helpful. I'm going to show what natively is set up with the controller. There's a few platforms that have special inputs needed, GameCube and Wii, that aren't default hooked to use your setup with a controller. So that's a little frustrating. Here's the cable that comes with it, the hookup SATA cable for a hard drive. That's right, it comes with a hard drive. And with all the games that are included with this. So yeah, I want to show this. This is offering some newer platforms that aren't on previous emulation devices offered on the market as mainstream. So we're getting there where newer platforms are being offered, and hooks up like so. The hard drive does make a noise. There's a fan in the Console X5 Pro, and just want to say, here we go. Booting it up, you are greeted with this menu, and just want to say, this is what's included. I was curious about it, want to share with it. You're getting something like this, and so you can go into the app. There's a settings as well. This is just kind of a quick overview, and you go over to there, and in the instruction manual, which is important, you go to the Pegasus and it'll boot up, and there you go. PS2, PSP, PlayStation, Saturn, 32X, Sega CD, SG-1000, Super Nintendo, Super Graphics, even Switch, wow. TurboGrafx 16, CD, Virtual Boy, Wii, WonderSwan Color, Sharp 68,000, 3DO, 3DS, Atari 2600, Atari 5200, Atari 7800, Jaguar, cool, Lynx, ColecoVision, Capcom 1, 2, and 3, Dreamcast, Famicom, GameCube, Game Gear, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Sega Genesis, MAME, Sega Master System, MSX, Nintendo 64, Naomi, Nintendo DS, Neo Geo, Neo Geo CD, NES, Neo Geo Pocket, Neo Geo Pocket Color, and PlayStation 2. So here we go. Here's Saturn, and nice to see Saturn on here. I'm going to focus kind of more on some of the more 3D platforms, as you know, the other consoles and platforms have been heavily emulated in the past, and I know that this processor, which more info on the link below if you want to see what it's running. Anyways, here's Alien Trilogy, and looking great, running great, 60 frames. Here's 32X, and I do put the frame rate on the screen there, and it seems to be running great. You know, I was a big fan of this game in particular on the 32X. I know the 32X doesn't get a lot of love, but nice to see this running great. This may be an option for people that, you know, don't have their old consoles anymore. You know, a lot of these games are not available on the market, so nice to see it run here at least. Is an option at least for capturing footage. But anyways, yeah, if you played Virtua Fighter, what character to use in the comments below, let me know. Here is Power Stone Collection running on PlayStation Portable emulation. Yeah, running great. You know what? With these newer emulation box devices, they keep getting better and better. The downside of this particular one is that, you know, and I don't know if it's fully the fault of the device itself, but, you know, platforms such as Wii, GameCube, and PlayStation 2 are not configured with the default controller this comes with. I wasn't able to figure it out quickly. I'm sure if I had more time I could, but just want to give you a heads up. They do talk about it in the instruction manual, but just a heads up. If you want to play those out of the box, probably not going to happen. But PlayStation Portable is running great. Any driver fans in the house? Well, PlayStation 1's running great. And you know what? This is a game, and in particular, I do believe the demo when it came out played quite a bit. So PlayStation 1, no problem. The processor in this device runs it with a breeze. And so more and more people growing up with newer platforms in mind, especially PlayStation, as PlayStation is probably the most mainstream franchise that people remember outside of Nintendo, and good to see it here. And here is 3DO. Not too many 3DO games on this device, but Starfighter's on here. There's some others, but you know what? I'm a big fan of 3DO. I do believe, and I consider it the modern pioneer for you know, modern gaming, that and Xbox, and I think it gets overlooked. But you know what? The 3DO had a powerful game library and was able to demonstrate 3D gaming, successful 3D gaming. Had its issues, but running great here. Any 3DS fans? Nice to see 3DS emulation start to get better and running here. This is Heroes of Ruin, and this is kind of a discount Diablo. You know, I played this with a buddy of mine actually online together. It was kind of a rudimentary setup, but it was functional, and nice to see at least the offline modes available here. So Heroes of Ruin, as well as other 3DS games on this device. And here's Atari Jaguar, a console that is very expensive to purchase now, and you know what, had a pretty limited library when it came out back in the day, and many of the games are not available anymore or won't be re-released. And so there is a few games on the Atari 50 collection. Nice to see that. Would like to see more. But here's Alien vs. Predator, which is probably one of the better games on the library, and included on the device. Here's Sega Dreamcast, and I think it's running functional. 35 frame rates per second. So I don't know if it's optimal, but you know what? To me, not bad. Looks great, and so I didn't hear any audio stutter, as you know, with some other devices, especially older ones, you hear that. So nice to see Dreamcast here, at least running functional, and that's good to see that. Is, you know, there's a lot of people that have fond memories, including myself, with the Sega Dreamcast. And I'm sure I could tweak in the settings to make it even run better. Here's Rayman 2, and running great on N64 emulation. Yeah, and I think, you know, there's a lot of people that have fond memories of the Nintendo 64, PlayStation 2, Dreamcast, that era, that are looking to play more of those games. I think that's where we're at. More and more people grew up in the 90s versus 80s, and that's it. My biggest complaint that I have with this device is that not all the emulation is set up with a native controller, and so that is frustrating. Even MAME wasn't able to hit anything on the controller to initiate a credit. That should happen. That should be default, as there's going to be a lot of people. I knew in previous devices that was no problem. So anyways, in the comments below, what do you think? And as always, thank you for coming to my channel. If you like what you see, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell, as I'm uploading videos every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is the Immortal John Hancock, and you take care.